Well, welcome everybody. This is Tuesday afternoon, the 24th of November of 2020, and I'm Don Snow in St. George, Utah, and we're in our we call them the Family History Update UVTAG, Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group classes, and this is the one for this which is on the subject is on let's see make sure I get that out of the way. Internet Archive, Wayback Machine.
What?
uh, the
I'm watching
Wayback
that. It's our cousin. He's doing it.
we need somebody's microphone turned off. The Wayback Machine is a device that is on the Internet Archive website to store old web pages, and it is a goldmine of information for family history. And today we're going to be looking at some of the examples of websites that are no longer on the website on the internet, but are were available before. Now the notes for this are online down at the bottom of the screen. There you see the link, the HTTPS and the UVTAG.org. And then on my classes, all my class notes and the schedule are there. And you'll see that again. And Gerhard usually posts, Gerhard Roof, who's the host of this, he's up in Orem. Right now, he's hosting this for us. He will probably post in the chat box a link for that, or even a PDF of those notes. But they're online now for you, and they're updated as of, I think, either last night or this morning. Okay, now, first of all, let's do a quick overview of what the notes look like. There's the link again as to where they're stored. The notes for all my classes are on there, and they're available for anybody to watch and to look and see them download. I'm going to switch my change to the notes. Let's see. Is this the one? Yeah. Oh, let me get over here and open up this one. This is where that link is, Dawn's Notes class notes page. And as you scroll down, there's a bunch of stuff here at the top of different articles and other things. And I write a monthly freeware corner article, and those are all posted on there. Further down here, I'm just scrolling down a little bit. Classes coming up. Item number one today, that's today's class at 3:30 this afternoon now, is the
Nice.
Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine. And if there's the class for December on there too. It's going to be on the Wolfram Alpha. Only one class in December. I'm going to hold down my control key while I click on that link, and it will open up the link, the notes for the Internet Archive Wayback Machine. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, let me highlight right now this abstract, and though I won't read it all, I'll tell you what it says. This Internet Archive is a website. It was started in 1996. It's in San Francisco, started by a fellow named Brewster Kahle. And the goal was to save all the stuff, the world's knowledge. Google has the goal of indexing all the world's knowledge, but if it goes away, Google doesn't index it anymore. But the Internet Archive has the goal of saving all that stuff. And they do this by saving books and TV programs and movies and old music concerts and all kinds of good stuff on there. And one of the items they have on there is called the Wayback Machine. Now, the Wayback Machine is where they store snapshots of the entire internet. So periodically they go through and save off copies of the internet. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're not going to be looking at the other parts of the Internet Archive, just the Wayback Machine. We'll even tell you where that name comes from here in a minute. If you're looking for a website that was available 15 years ago, go to the Wayback Machine, type in that website, and you'll find it. And we're going to use some illustrations on that. You can find all kinds of old stuff on there, all the early stuff from the church family search and from our organization, the old UVPath users group, all that stuff is available there. So that's the abstract as to what we're going to be talking about. Now, as I
Don,
scroll, question?
if the website has been deleted presently, what can you do with the old website that you find?
The whole thing will be on there. We're going to show some that have been deleted, but that you can find out what it said, and you can download it if you want to, or copy it off, or whatever you want to do with it. That's why it's so valuable for family history.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so there's standard welcome things on that, the welcome and introduction. And what our problem, item 4, the problem for today is, what is the Internet Archive Wayback Machine? What does it contain, and how do you use it? Now, there's a section in here about the Internet Archive itself. There are links here that tell you how to get to it, and we'll see more of the details of it, and several different articles, Wikipedia articles and others that give you the history of it, and their blog, and a bunch of helpful stuff. We're not talking about the general Internet Archive today, just the Wayback Machine, so I won't take time to go through all that. That's a whole separate subject, and we used to do this in 2 or 3 different classes, and so now this one is just on the Wayback Machine. That's this section down here, the Wayback Machine, and there's details here as to how you use it, what's on there, information about where it came from, and I'll show you actually where the name comes from. I didn't know this until 2 days ago. And then there's item 13. Here's a bunch of examples. We'll spend most of the time looking at those examples of what's there, and saying what's happened in the past. And then, how do you save if you find an Internet Archive, a web page today that's on the internet that you want to be sure is preserved, because you might want to refer to it again. One of the things you can do besides saving it yourself is you can click on it and have it saved so that it's scanned right then and put into the Wayback Machine. And then it'll be available on there for you to come back and look at later. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other stuff that's on there, and then the conclusions. Okay, now that's the notes themselves. I'm going to go back to, well, let's see, I'm going to leave that on the notes, but I'm going to go back to our slideshow and go on from the slideshow. There's that link again for the notes as to where they are, and the notes we just looked at, and Gerhard will put that link in, and probably a copy of a PDF of those notes. But they're there. You can do your own PDF of them if you want to. Now, here's what the Wayback Machine contains. It's snapshots of the internet. You say, well, the internet is an enormous thing with millions of web pages. That's true. And these guys do periodically, they go through and do a snapshot of all of that. The Internet Archive started in 1996. But in the year 2000, 5 years after they started, they got this Wayback Machine going on it, and they had already stored some websites before that, so some go back earlier than that. Right now, on the Wayback Machine are stored nearly 5 billion web pages.
100 billion.
That's billion, not million. A billion web pages. And it's free. It's free to everyone. All this old stuff, and we're going to look at some of this stuff. It's phenomenal what they've got and what they're storing. Now, where did the name come from? I did not know this until I was talking to my son on the phone a couple of days ago in California, and he said, "What's the subject for class 2?" I said, "It's on the Wayback Machine." And, "Oh, Wayback Machine." He said, "Wasn't that from the Rocky and Bullwinkle show?" I don't remember that. I don't think I ever watched that, but yeah, it is. I'm doing some checking around. It's from the 1960s cartoon feature that was the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. And I went online and actually found there's a cartoon, the Wayback Machine. They called it WABAC. And it was Mr. Peabody and the dog Sherman. They get into this Wayback Machine, and it takes them back in time so they can see what was going on in different places at that time. I didn't know where that name came from. I thought, gee, that's a weird name. And Don Jr. said, "Oh, that's where it's from." Some of you will remember that. I didn't, but somebody else, others do. And so there's a picture of where the name came from. Now, here's where you get to the Wayback Machine. That's that URL right there. Archive.org is the Internet Archive website. Notice that it's singular. If you type in archives.org, you get something else. Or if you type in archive.com, you get something else. So it's singular and org. It's a nonprofit thing. And the Wayback Machine is on there, and the search box is right near the top of that. And so one of the things we want to do, we want to spend a good share of our time today looking at examples and demos. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my notes, and so that we can get over to, let's see, there's my notes. And so I'm going to go back up here to the top where it's got that Internet Archive. There's that link, the Internet Archive, the one we just talked about. I'm going to hold down the control key so it'll keep these notes, but it'll open it in another tab. Here, this is the Internet Archive, and all of this thing right up here, this yellow thing in the top, is the Wayback Machine. All the other stuff they've got, and there's all these other tabs down here of different kinds of things that they've stored. If you're interested in music, there's all kinds of good music concerts, classic stuff, and jazz. There's some wonderful jazz stuff that's all recorded on here. I put links on the thing so I can listen to it while I'm working on other things. These are collections of all the other kinds of stuff. What we're interested in is this thing up here where it says Wayback Machine, and type in the URL that you want to see and see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to type in a URL, http://uvpafug.org. Now, some of you, if you've been around with us for years, you remember that PAFUG, that was the old name of our organization. Now it's UVTAG, Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. In the days when we first got started, it was Utah Valley PAF Users Group. Okay, I hit enter, and it thinks a minute, and it starts looking, and it says, oh, yeah, we scanned that 375 times between August 16th of the year 2000 and September 24th of the year 2020. Now, some of you will say, well, I didn't think you were using that now. We are still using this. It's a sample thing. Gerhard and some of the other webmasters use this for a testing ground, and that's why it's still online. And so all of these things are scans. You can see all the dates of the different years in there. You see this bar across the bottom. I'm going to drag that bar over. And so the first scan that they did was back in 2000. That they scanned it twice in the year 2000. In the year 2001, they scanned it. It looks like there's probably 6 or 8 or 10 times in there, and so on. Some of these years they scanned it many more times than others, and so on. 2010 doesn't look like, well, they scanned it once, I guess, at the beginning. If you want to see what's going on any one of those, what it looked like, I'm going to click on the year 2000. So I'm going to click on that. And so now 2000 is highlighted there. Now down below here, it opens up a calendar. See this calendar here of all the dates in the year 2000. Now on some of these, they're darker. Now on my screen, I can hardly see. Well, there's one right there. You see that one? The darker ones means that's the date they scanned it. On August 16th of the year 2000, they actually have a copy. Now that's even before the Wayback Machine started, but they did some that they were collecting up before, but then they got it all put together. One snapshot, and there's the time that they scanned it. And if you click on that, I highlighted that and clicked. That's what our web page looked like in the year 2000. That's 20 years ago. Can you believe that? Welcome to the Utah Valley PAF Users Group. There's our mission statement. There's all the information as to what it looked like and what was going on. Over here on the left side are all kinds of information about who was available and who were the officers and what was happening. I'm going to click on this one over here where it says meetings and bring up that. It takes a minute as it thinks through our monthly meeting. That was the next meeting that was coming up when this was scanned. And there's what's that?
It's fascinating, Julie.
Isn't that something? And here's a list of past presenters and their topics. I'm going to click on that. and it'll think through this. There's a list of the main presentations of the PAF user group meetings. There's the 2001 Randy Bryson we had on that date. Here's the year 2000. Look at on the 12th of February of 2000. Look who spoke.
Yeah.
Diane and I, and we talked about what's happening with family history in New York City. We had just gotten back from our mission from being the directors of the Family History Center in Manhattan. We got back just 2 months before that. And so we were the main speakers. But look at all these others, the speakers as to who spoke then and as to what the subjects were. And this is going back in time now. So here's 1999 and then 1998 and so on. And remember that this was scanned in the year 2000, well, it's 2001. So it's that's the date on it. All the old stuff you thought was gone is there. And so you can go back and look at it. Now, notice up here at the top, in the upper right-hand corner up here where I'm circling around with the cursor, it gives the date. This was August the 8th. December the 8th. There's an arrow pointing to the left and an arrow pointing to the right. If I click on the left arrow, it will take me back. This is the previous scan that they had done. So this was the one, and see, I'm still on the same meetings page. And so well, let me get back. Let me see if I can get back to the main page. Let me go back one more here. Okay, this there's our main page. And so now it says there's a July one. Let's go back one more and see what happens. And sometimes maybe it won't go back any further. Maybe that's that looks like that might have been the first one. But you can click to the right. I'll click to the right over here. This is the October one. There's October the 18th. That's what it looked like. Here's February the 1st of the next year, 2001. Here's click to the right on that again. There's February 4th. Notice that you can't. Seems to be no rhyme or reason as to what the dates were that they scanned it. And March 1st of 2001, and so on. You can click and go through this, and remember that it said 300 over here on the left side near the top, 375 captures that they had done this of this particular website, and right up until the current time. So all that stuff that you thought was gone, it's available, and you can go back and find it. Okay, that's one example. Let's go back and on that the information sheet, the scans. Let's see now. I better close up because I went several different places, and so it's going to take too long to go back. So I'll go back up here to the main page again, and we'll take a look at the another example on here. I think there's a total of 5 different examples, and it was item 13 on your notes. Let me look at it here and see what the others were. Oh, my own web page. Okay, let me show you what my web, http://UVPAFUG.org/classes, CLASSE classes /dawns classes HTML. Did I get that all typed in right?
Yes.
Okay. There says something, looks like I got something wrong. HTTP.
Don, you have a space in front of the H on HTML, I think. Maybe not.
No space there. But
It's HTNL.
It's an
right now.
ML, not NL. M like Mary, the last one. HTM like Mary L.
oh, I got N. M. that's what the problem.
Yeah,
Okay. And now I think it
you
should do
got
it.
it.
Yeah, when they get computers that do what you want and not what you tell them, that's going to be the day. Oh,
Dawn,
it still failed.
Dawn, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Don't they have also all the ensigns? The old one wasn't called ensign then, before 1971 on here?
Yes, well, not on here, but they're on the Internet Archive. Those were called the Improvement
Yes,
Era.
on the Internet Archive, yeah.
Yeah,
Because,
they're on the Internet Archive, but they're not on the Wayback Machine, but they're stored on the Internet Archive.
oh, okay.
Now
It's
that looks
waiting
like,
for a retry.
let's see, I'm hitting retry and it
Down
shows,
at the bottom.
oh, retry down there. There it is. There it got it. Okay. All right. It scanned 21 times between 2006 and 2016. Now notice that that's half users group. That's the old one. We changed to UVTAG, and I'll do that one separately. But these are the dates of when they scanned my website. Here's their first scan was in 2006 that they did. It could have been when I think I started before them, but I'm not sure. Now, someplace in here, there's one right there. Let's go down and see what it looked like. Click, and there it is. I had this bright yellow. I don't know why I ever started with that bright yellow thing in there. But that's what it looked like back in 2006. That's 14 years ago. There's the classes that we were teaching. It's kind of interesting to see what we were teaching in those days. Temple name submission using Temple Ready. Gosh, that seems like that's forever ago, doesn't it? And the internet of the IGI. Oh my goodness. And internet genealogy. Here we had a series of classes on that, and then other family history classes. And along about that time, we were on missions here at the Family History Center in St. George, and we were helping set up the 5-day program that they did. That's all in here, but you can see all the details. And so now you can start clicking. That was the July 16th. I click on the next one and see what comes up. There's August the 6th. And the classes that were, anyway, you get the idea as to what's going on. And this was the old website, the PAF user group. If I typed in uvtag.org and changed it, then you'd see the newer ones, all the newer classes that are on there. So it's just that, so you can go back and find all this earlier stuff from the past. I was going to show you, I think I probably won't take time to go through the item 13C was going to be the Washington County Historical Society website. That's another, if you're anything to do with St. George, a lot of good stuff on that. Family search. That was item 13D. I was going to show you an example of family search and what that looked like in the early days and how you get around on it. Again, if we have time, maybe I'll come back and do that. But let me show you one thing that I've got. It's in the notes, and I put it right in. Is this still the notes there? Yeah, there's the notes. Down here, item example 5. This is one. I just put the whole link in here as to what would happen on it. I'm going to hold down the control key while I click on that link, and you'll see what comes up. It downloads. It goes right to a place on this Wayback Machine, and it downloads an old video, family history of 2008, member involvement, and the WMV file. That's a video file. Now I've actually got that on here, and so I've already downloaded it. It only takes a couple of minutes, but I won't take time to download that, but I want to play it for you. So let me close that out. I've downloaded the thing, and this is what, if you go through, you'll recognize some of this stuff. Whoops. Why did that not, that's the wrong thing. It's not showing the right.
You could look under personal.
let me. I better go back and do that. Download. Do the download again so that it'll, because then we can play it immediately. There it is. Okay, I'll click on save. And so now it's saved. It's actually downloaded it. There's another copy that I've already got, but now it's right down here at the bottom so that I can click on it. So I'm going to click on it, and here it is. Now, I don't know whether that's too loud or not. Maybe that's too loud.
That's good, John.
Loud. I can,
All members can get involved in family history to some degree. Members can document their own lives by recording important dates and life
I'll show
events.
just a little bit of this.
Identify their ancestors using personal memory and home sources. Members can record the vital information they remember or can find at home about siblings, parents, uncles and aunts, grandparents and great-grandparents.
The first place to start is with your own records at home. Many people come in
What
and
do you
they
think
say,
about
well,
that?
I think my grandfather's name was John Jones, and I think he lived in Pennsylvania. And we tell them you're going to have a little bit more information than that before you can really track it back. So find the records that you've got already, and then from there you can get started on it.
Family memory and records.
What do you think about that?
Members can record
Let me
the
close
vital
that out.
information,
All those old videos, those old DVDs, they came back while we were on our mission in New York City. They filmed that right in our front room of our apartment. And they had me gather up, for 3 days, I think they were there videoing with other people that had come in and members of the church and so on there. And then they spliced it right in here, right after President Uchtdorf's thing. All that stuff's on here, these old things. The church put it out on DVDs, and then, but who's got a copy of those old DVDs anymore? All right, so anyway, that's an example of, those are several examples of what you can do with it. Now, remember that I said, in our remaining few minutes here, remember that I said that if you have a website that you want to be sure is saved, for example, these are my notes for today for this class. Now, there is an extension. I'm using Chrome as the browser here, and each of the browsers has a separate extension, or they call them add-ons in a couple of extensions. It's right up here. Do you see that thing, that symbol where I'm circling this thing? It looks like that building. See over here, this is the link to, that's the bookmark to get back directly to the website. This one is up here on these extension lists. If I click on that up there, I've already installed it in my Chrome. It will say page last archived. This page has not been archived because I just wrote it. This is brand new. Do you want to archive it? What do you want to do? I'll say I want to archive it. Click. It is archiving that page right now in the Wayback Machine. And it'll only take another couple of seconds here, and this will be all archived in the Wayback Machine. So it'll be stored as of today. So in 5 years from now, if you want to come back and look and see what this looked like today, it'll be available there. For some reason, they don't scan everything all the time, and I don't know why or when. I have not been able to figure that out. And so frequently, after I upload a new version of my web page or of a new set of notes, I scan on it. I scan it again. Now see, it says it's there. It's now been archived. It's now saved in the Wayback Machine, and I could view what it looks like in the Wayback Machine, or I could use some options or statistics on it, but I won't take time to do that. But sometimes if you find something on the internet now that you're interested in and you want it saved, just click on that thing and it will save it for you in the Wayback Machine so that it's available for you later. Let me go back to our examples and demos, and here's a summary. We've talked about the Wayback Machine, what it is. It's a wonderful storage facility of old time stuff. We've shown how to use it. We've shown you some examples, and we showed you how to save web pages yourself if you find them now and you want to be sure it's saved. It's not a safety net for keeping track of all of your old stuff. In fact, they warn you about that because you never know what's going on. So be sure you keep it separately. But if it's your own thing, but it is an example of what you can do with it. We got a couple of minutes for questions or comments. Do you have any questions or any comments?
How do you get that extension on your computer?
How do you get the extensions? What are you using, Chrome or which browser? What
Chrome.
browser are you using? If you're using Chrome, let me illustrate. Let me go back and get back to where is here. To add in Chrome, all the browsers have something similar to this. You click on these little three dots in Chrome. You click on those three dots up there in the upper right-hand corner, and down here there's a bunch of other things. There's print and all that sort of thing. There's tools. Here's more tools, and under more tools, there's extensions. There's extensions right there. You click on extensions, and these are some of the extensions that I've already got set up on here that I'm using. That one for Internet Archive, it'll have that symbol in front of it with the building. And where is it on here? It'll be on here. There it is, right there. Save to the Wayback Machine. And then down here is a bunch of other things that I've not put on here, but that you can get on there. You can put these on if you want to, or there's another list of someplace down near the bottom. There's a list of all kinds of others that you can get. There's thousands of extensions that you can put on your browser. This is Chrome, but you do it with Firefox. You do it the same sort of way, or with the Edge, etc. Okay. Any other questions?
So how do you tell it that you want the Wayback Machine? Want that extension on your computer?
Yeah, the installation. Let's see if where is that thing that we had? Was this
Don, right at the top of the extensions page is a search field. That's what you need to use.
Oh, right up here where it says extensions? Yeah.
To the right of extensions. I can't see it on your screen. I can see it on mine.
Yeah, there's someplace in here. There's a thing like these were ones that I've already installed, and because I had installed them and I updated the thing, it's got a thing that they're already on here, and I can stop it by clicking. See that dot? I moved it over here. That one is now uninstalled. It's still on there, but it's not working. But there's a list of all the different ones you can get, and you can put. Oh, there's thousands of them that people have written, and probably up in here. I clicked on this thing, extensions, open the Chrome Web Store. Here it is right here. Open the Chrome. There's a list of thousands of extensions of that do different kinds of things that you can put on there. And all the browsers have the same sort of a thing. Okay, anything else? Any other questions you want to ask?
Hi, this is Bruce Merrill.
Hi,
I
Bruce.
have all of the PAF and UVTAG presentations at my house here. And
You got the DVDs for them, don't you?
yeah, the DVDs.
Yeah, Bruce Merrill is the guy he lives in Provo. He's the guy that puts out the DVDs for us. For members of the organization of the UVTAG, you can get those DVDs of any of the past presentations. What have we got? We're up to 450 of them, aren't we now, Bruce?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So some of the first ones were on VHS tapes.
But you converted a bunch of those, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're converted.
Yeah, they're all converted. And a lot of those are online now. They may not all be online to watch. If you're a member, you can get to them. But you can even buy the DVDs still from Bruce, of any of those old ones, for $3. It's a wonderful resource. Okay, well, our time is up. So I appreciate you guys watching. It's been delightful for me to have you here. And I wish you a happy Thanksgiving time, and stay safe with the COVID problem. But hopefully everything will go well with you And we'll see you. The next meeting we have is going to be the second Tuesday in December, and that's going to be on the Wolfram Alpha website, which is an interesting website that has some information for family history. So thank you very much for watching.